Hello and welcome to Jazini Insights. It's been a long time. Did you miss me? I did miss all of our discussions. I did miss you too. But welcome back to my channel. A lot have been happening. And can I tell you why I've been silent? There's nobody with a conscience in Nigeria that will not be broken by the level of things Nigerians take, by the things happening in the country. Nobody that has conscience that will not be struck or hit. A lot of things, as they come back to back, day to day, you are broken, you are shattered. You know, it got to me to some extent that I just decided to watch. Our desire is for this country to be, maximize its potential, to be who God has destined it to be. But day in, day out is like there are strongholds. This government is a stronghold holding Nigeria captive. It looks like we're never going to come out. And that hopelessness is what makes you sometimes sink in. But is it worth fighting for? Yes, it is. And that is why I've come back this morning to lend a voice to some of these things that have been happening. What are the ones that really got to me? The issue of Bobrisky. I'm not talking about Bobrisky as a person. He has chosen his life. I am talking about how our government decided to rubbish themselves in potopoto, to rub themselves in the mud. How can a government play along with a criminal? Who do you call a criminal? A criminal is just somebody who has committed a crime. Especially crimes that are not just civil cases. In Bobrisky's case, they said he committed a crime. When they said he sprayed money, I was of the opinion that this is not something that should warrant them jailing this guy for 6 months. Otherwise, they should, or is it that they have another motive or another plan or something that is eating them up so much that they want to get back to him for? And if they had any cogent reason to jail this guy, he should serve the term. And in the process, he didn't serve the term as he alleged in the audio. And that's one thing about telling lies. One lie told that is not corrected will lead to several other lies that are bigger to correct. So sometimes it's even better to keep quiet. It's even better to just stay quiet than saying certain things. And this, oh my God. How can our government play along? How can government officials play along in the mess? When they started their House of Rep interview of these people, that very first day that they made their show of shame, I just wondered and felt like they should just close this whole nonsense because nothing is going to come out of it. And not just that, they're opening the cans of worms. And in trying to manage it, they rubbished our country the more. Is it that these people don't think that other countries follow Nigerian stories? West African countries, neighboring countries, abroad, in the West, they follow Nigerian stories. They are shame, they catch me. Shame can't leave them, they catch me on how they handle this Bobrisky situation. So I went mute, I kept quiet. It's been said that they discharged him of all the allegations and said he served time in prison. Who are we and what are we going to believe and what are we going to say? These are people who have monopoly of rascality that call themselves governments. We are following them, oh? We are following them. So I just shook my head. I don't want to enjoy the gossip. It's not something that depicts my country in a good light. It's not something I want to sustain. So I kept quiet because I'm not just after breaking stories that are just for the sake of stories. It's heart-wrenching. It's heart-wrenching that the people who are supposed to be doing corrections, people who are supposed to be custodians of our laws, of our standards, of our national values, are the ones playing along just to cover a crime. Because many of them will be involved in the saga. If they actually to investigate the issue of imprisonment, whether that guy served jail term or not, they are going to go back to several cases which Nigerians have been speculating never served terms in those prisons. Let's leave that. come they come up from that one, Nasari Dokubo say, na Yoruba people, they do them. It's not Yoruba people that are doing you. It's your greed, his personal greed and lack of character that is doing him. Asari Dokubo said, Yoruba people are not to be trusted. We will tell Asari to talk directly to Mr. President, his friend, whom he vouched for and said that if he never performed, he never succeeded, Nigerians should hold him accountable. What if he's crying now? What should we do? We will hold him accountable because he used militias to waylay Nigerians. He used militias to coerce the court. He used militias to cause a standstill in the nation's capital in support of this man and made some people not to vote. Now he's lamenting. Yoruba people not do you anything. And no tribe in Nigeria did do anything. And what makes him think that the North that he's saying he wants to work and get alliance with needs him? What makes him think they will trust him or want to have to do anything with him? Asari Dokubo should deal with his frustrations. He's needing money. Because he needs money. It's not easy. What he's doing, I pity those people that he has gathered as militias or as followers or as group or whatever. What is happening is that he needs money to sustain them. And he's not getting, it's easy to gather young men and be deceiving them and give them ammunitions. He needs to fund it. And he needs money. And then, because those people will turn against him, he's looking for a way to push the blames. Deal with what you created. And stop calling the Yoruba people. Leave the guy. I don't want to give him any importance. Now, this one, where make me jump out this morning, I could not keep quiet. How can a House of Rep member tell somebody that I will make you disappear in the whole of Nigeria and nothing would happen? These are the politicians we have. These are the people in government, the people that make decisions for us. People that decide what becomes of us, who represent us. From what I even gathered, he's new to the house. And he don't shakam. He's intoxicated already by power. They say power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. What Nigerian politicians have is absolute power. And that is why they're able to march on any head once they taste that power. And that is what we are saying, that once we see the tendency for dictatorship, dictatorial tendencies, such people should not be allowed in the corridors of power. If the police is arresting this man, they should remember Wike, because Wike has done similar things. Wike has insulted Nigerians, harassed them. Wike has burnt government properties through his followers, the people he's instructing and telling how to play politics and the game. And every other person, the governor in the north that slapped somebody who prayed and said nobody authorized him as an imam. And so many other cases. They should not just go after one person. They should look at all the politicians that have been abusing Nigerians and go after all of them. Go after their own people too, because in fact, it's a systemic problem. It's a systemic problem. Do you know who I am? Those questions start even from the police. Starts even from the people that should be protecting us. Do you know who I am? Who are you? The power you enjoy is conferred by the people. And if they take it, you are nobody. I wonder how they're able to represent people, a rep. Who is he representing? The people that he will disappear. That's enormous. That's the height of irresponsibility, telling somebody who brought a delivery to you. And from everything you can see in that story, he felt like this guy should know that I'm an honorable. Possibly he doesn't know. It's also possible that the person who sent him on an errand doesn't know, didn't tell the Uber guy that he's so almighty. So that when he goes there, he will bury mole. He will prostrate and genuflect to who I am. I am that I am. That's the problem we have in our system. And to the people who are also lamenting and commenting, who are Nigerians, Many of us are victims of that statement. Can we all start working on it? And since after that incident, I've been thinking through and asking myself, is there any time that I've asked somebody, do you know who I am? And will I ever ask that question? And God help me to check myself so that I will not ask that question, because that question comes so handy and freely to Nigerians whenever something happens. The first thing is, do you know who you are talking to? Do you know who I am? And probably they have one brother, one friend, one acquaintance, or somehow connection to government, police, or maybe a little bit of money in their pocket. That is when those statements fly like missiles. So as a people, we have to all watch it and keep looking that we begin to rehabilitate ourselves as individuals. Because when we rehabilitate ourselves as individuals, it's going to ripple out in the society. That guy goofed. What is his name? Alex Mascot Ikweche, representing Aba North also. He goofed, forgot himself, slapped a man once. If he had even railed abuses with his mouth, we will bear it. Where it got to me is when you feel like you have the right to lift your hand on another man, hit the man, power, second time power, third time power, to the point of getting him naked by tearing his clothes off his body. Even when he knew he was being recorded, he damned it because he felt that as a politician, I can always have my way. So you see, they are the laws. The government is meant for them, not for the people. The power in Nigeria is just to oppress those who are powerless, not to effect changes, needed changes. We have built strong men and not strong institutions. If we have strong institutions, nobody will reference the police as to be either useless or useful in doing crime. If we have institutions, nobody will pride himself to be recognized as a supposed senator or House of Rep member. They will know that they are duty bound. They will know that they have to show decorum even when offended. Even when legitimately offended, because you are custodians of the value you want us to uphold. So see what they want us to uphold in the country. Is there any politician that is free of this kind of character we saw in mascots? You hardly see any politician who is free of the character we saw in mascots. So how do we elect them? In fact, it's like the criteria for electing this politician is who can behave rascally. And we say, One of the reasons they elected President Tinubu is that he can deal with the North. And I was saying that we should not have presidents who can deal with any part of this country. We should not raise people who can deal with anybody. We need to only vote people who can do their job honestly, selflessly, to the best of their ability or the requirements of the office they occupy. We have a systemic problem. Other than even looking at mascots alone, Ikweche, we should be calling for a disband of whatever we have practiced in Nigeria. The way the country is now, if it were to be a gadget, a machine, what we would do is to say, stop it, dismantle it, wash it, refurbish it. If it's a phone, format it, and let it start again. Then it starts booting again, and then we start coupling it again, and then we start rewriting the programs of that equipment, changing areas we have noticed serious problems, and then starting all over. If we don't start all over, the way the country is now, it cannot continue. It cannot work. It cannot work. We cannot keep doing the same thing repeatedly, the same way, and expect a different result. No, that is what we have always done. There is fire on the mountain.